Okay guys, before I get started on the oil change part of this, I want to tell you where to buy the belly pan because I always get asked that. I bought this off of M Designs Motorsports. It is a carbon vise belly pan. It is an official Z Cup racing belly pan. They are only made during racing season and slightly before racing season, and they do sell out. So I'll link in the description where to buy it and get on their wait list. They do sell out, so if you see it there and you want it, just get it. They aren't that expensive. I think it's all together like $500 shipped, and like half that price is the shipping. So alright, so this video is going to be about changing the oil with this belly pan, just so anybody has any questions about how difficult that is, because you can't get to anything. The steps are, first we're going to remove the belly pan, and then it's going to be like a normal Kawasaki Z900 oil change. So I'll show you how fast that goes. Alright guys, this is the oil I'm going to use. It's the Kawasaki brand 10W40 full synthetic 4T or 4-stroke. And this is the filter I'm going to be using. Here's the part number on it. It's 16097-0008. And these are the washers, spare washers I have. Alright. Alright guys, first thing you want to do is get the bike up on a rear tire stand and slide something underneath to catch the belly pan so you're not laying on the cement. Got two bolts on the left side. They are number 4s, hex, and here, one here holding the belly pan on. And on the right side of the bike, there are 3. There's one up here up front. There's this one right here. There's this one right here near the exhaust. So we're going to undo all 5 of those and just drop the belly pan. Alright guys, once you get the belly pan off, now what you want to do is inspect it, empty out the rocks, and look for any frayed places, and re-glue them for the shielding. And then on the bike itself, when you install the belly pan, you install some hardware to hold it in place. And you want to check these bolts, make sure they're still on that frame. I have a video on installing it, but you want to go back through and look at these bolts, make sure they're still in. There's another set on the other side, another bracket that you had. This one here. I mean, don't crank them down super hard or anything, but just make sure they're still tight. Alright, once the belly pan is off, I'm going to start the engine and let it idle for a couple minutes, get the oil heated up before I do anything else. Alright, let the bike warm up for 2 minutes, get the oil flowing. I then took off the oil fill cap on the right side of the bike. Make sure you don't lose the O-ring. And now I'm going to remove the 17mm oil fill bolt here, the drain plug, and let the oil drain in the bucket. Alright, with the oil plug and the washer that was on there, and the oil was very dirty considering it's only got like a couple thousand miles on it. So let that finish draining out, and then I'm going to wipe it down a little bit. Alright, that oil is almost done coming out. What I'm going to do now is just use this strap wrench, put it on here, and just crank this counterclockwise. It's the filter. I'm going to pull it off. And after I get it loosened, I'm going to move this forward a little bit so it gets catches the oil that comes out, because the oil is going to come out. Alright, got it. I cracked the filter with the strap wrench. I'm going to go ahead and remove it now. I moved the oil bucket up forward to catch this oil too. Great. Alright guys, I went ahead and fished all my stuff out of the oil bucket that fell in, and this is got the new filter out, poured some oil into it, and I went ahead and moistened the O-ring with more oil. Just going to screw it on there. The official torque is 17 newton meters, but that's just what it says in the manual, so I just put it on snug and, a little extra. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and put the drain bolt back in, put a washer on it. The torque spec for this is 29 newton meters. I'm not saying you should do that, I'm just saying that's what the manual says. Alright guys, now it's time to start adding the oil. It says it needs 3.8 US quarts. I find that it usually takes more than that to get it directly in the middle of the two bars on the sight window. What I'm going to do to start out is just fill it up until about 3.5 quarts, and then at that point I'm going to put the belly pan back on before I run it. The reason I'm doing it in this order is I don't want to work around hot stuff when I run the engine to check the oil. And I also don't want to spill a bunch of oil down into the belly pan. So first I'm going to do the initial fill and then put the belly pan on. Alright, I did my official first fill here. I am going to go ahead and run the bike for a few seconds here, make sure no oil comes squirting out anywhere, and then I'm going to put the belly pan on. Alright, when you're putting the belly pan back on, probably the best way to do it is to lightly put in this top left side first, and then go around to the back here and do the exhaust one next. The exhaust one is the hardest one, but if you do the front left one first, it kind of holds the belly pan up for you a little bit so you can work with it. And then I'm going to go put in the remaining three. Alright, I put the rest of the bolts on. I put everything in like pressure tight just to where it kind of stops on its own. And now I'm going to go through and torque them all down to 7 Newton meters. Alright, I torqued everything down. 7 is just like a number I found for all around bolts. So 7 nanometers may not be correct. Between 5 and 7 it feels like it's on there pretty good. You don't want to go too hard because it's a carbon fiber piece, right? You're just going to eat right through it. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and finish the oil filling process and let the engine run for about a minute and let it sit for a while and check the oil. Okay, I can see already just from my quick test start it needs oil, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in the rest of the other half of the last quart and then let it run for a little bit. Alright guys, after you put your initial oil in, just go through the process of letting the engine run for a couple minutes and then letting it sit for a couple minutes, check the sight glass. If the oil's not where you want it, add a little bit more, and then run the engine again, let it sit again. Just go through that process until the oil is at the correct level in the sight glass for you. Then you want to reset the service delay. You have a little wrench down here if you want your full 7,500 miles or a year. So what you want to do is click both of these, open the service menu. Alright, left side is your selector here, service. We're going to go ahead and click service. And what you want to do is toggle this oil change indicator off or on. So I'm going to select it, select off, click off, and I'm going to click again, click on. And now you can see it's reset 7,500 miles, which I had done just before this, so but you can see the date reset to today from the previous date. So basically that's all you have to do. So now you got another 7,500 miles, another year reminder. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it. Just go ahead and click both of these to get out, and there you go. That's how you change the oil on Kawasaki Z900 and reset the lamp when you have a belly pan. Thanks.